dying. All my friends came to see me last night. I was laying in my bed, dying. Anyone know from Saint Angel says the weather down here is so fine, so fine. Just in the wind came squalling through the door. Just in the wind came squalling through the door. But who can the weather come in? Who can the weather come in? I just want to have a little peace to die and a friend or two I love at hand. All my friends came to see me last night. It's raining on me. Fucking rain. I get rained on, I get censored. I tell you, man, that YouTube's a bitch, and same with that fucking controlled weather operations they're running on us. First they spray, then it rains. Like, we don't see a pattern forming here. I mean, what in the fuck? What in the actual motherfucking fuck? For real. I mean, like, I'm all wet. I've been censored and I'm wet. There we go, it stopped. See, if you complain enough, you know, you gotta open your mouth to get fed these days. Got to open your mouth to get fed these days. That's what I'm saying. It's a day and age where you better complain if you don't get your way. What the fuck? Come on, rain. I was complaining. Stop it. Stop raining on me, please. I want to have a dry guitar right now, not a wet one. Anyways, you've tuned into the Flatmate channel. Snake Eyes, I got 0, 0. You know why? Because nobody knows about me. You know why? Because YouTube censors me. I've lost so many channels on YouTube, and I just got a strike on Dr. Bas Ackwards' channel. I mean, it's just like, they just keep it coming. For my little fucking under 1,000 sub channel with fucking 50 views, you know, they're gonna worry about my fucking lyrics to my songs that I write. And they're gonna crack the hammer down on me. They're, you've been censored. You can't use your channel for a week. We're suspending you from the app that you have on your phone. Because we can, and we don't like the lyrics to your song. The lyrics to my song, because it minimizes an event where people lost their lives. It's a fucking song, dude. It's called art. I mean, it's not like a fucking news report or something, you know, I'm not like... You know, and the people that come to my channel are people that fucking already relate to the things I'm saying, so it's like, I'm not, you know, I'm singing to the choir, it's entertainment. It's more like, you know, I wouldn't mind if the real world, the fucking fake world, whatever you want to call it, they got a chance to listen to my music, maybe they might think about things a little differently. But YouTube makes sure that doesn't happen. So combined with the shadow banning, I don't really feel the need to be censored. I mean, it's like I'm already shadow banned. It's already like I got. It's not like I got any reach here. I mean, YouTube made sure of that. So the fact they're gonna censor me on top of that, I mean, it's like, geez, you guys just because of the lyrics to my song, I'll sing what they didn't like right now. It went like this, and it's so I can't believe they would censor me for this, but whatever. It goes like this. Well, 9/11 came and went, and all the money got spent, and the laws were bent, and we never got a story that made any sense. Well, there's a terrorist attack and all that, where 2 planes knocked 3 buildings down right to the ground flat. Faster than you could clap your hands a dozen times. A 110-story building fell before your eyes twice. And let's not forget Building 7, the 47th floor building, where something quite peculiar happened as it collapsed in the exact same fashion. However, it was strange, 'cause it wasn't hit by planes. Until this day it remains yet to be explained. You'll never hear anyone up on the television just be like, hey, wait, 2 planes, 3 buildings, please explain. I don't understand. There wasn't any fucking planes, and it was over before it began. Was over before it began. That's what I got censored for. Can you believe that? There wasn't any planes. They're like, oh, wait, whoa, whoa, whoa. Better shut that down. He said there was no planes on 9/11. No, that's censor material right there. You got to censor that. You know what I always say? If you want to know what's true, you just have to look at what they're censoring. If they're censoring it, because here's the thing: they don't censor lies. No. Do lies ever expose people? Has a lie ever exposed anyone? No, lies are told to keep from being exposed. That's why you tell a lie, because you don't want to be exposed. Okay, so lies don't expose people. Okay, so now that we've established that, what does expose people? Well, if you want to be exposed, this is what happens. If someone tells the truth, that's what exposes somebody. So when they've been exposed, it's because the truth has been told. And so there's liars that are in the world. There's a lot of liars. Most people lie, and there's some people that are that have a lot of power in the world. They lie a lot. They lie in big ways. And so it's like, naturally, the people that are running the show, the people that have the power to censor me on YouTube, for instance, they've told lies, or they're basically supporting lies that have been told in a big way. So if someone tells the truth about one of those lies, you get shut down right quick. It's not that you told a lie about something. That's not what got you censored. It's because you're exposing something that was lied about. That's why people get silenced. You don't get silenced for telling a lie. That doesn't happen. You can get in trouble for telling a lie, but you don't get silenced for telling a lie. No, that's not what happens in the world. You get silenced for telling the truth, because the truth exposes people. Lies don't expose people. Like I said, lies can get you in trouble if they're discovered, Or lies can get people in trouble when, in the sense where you can lie about somebody and they can get in trouble for it if the court system isn't functioning properly, or if it's corrupt. But the thing is, a corrupt system is going to censor truth. That's an obvious fact. So if I got censored for saying there was no planes at 9/11, then that would lead you to believe perhaps that was a true statement that I uttered there. Perhaps there was no planes on 9/11. There's a reason why I think that. I have a damn good reason why I think that, and why anybody should think that, and it's because there was no planes. Because there was no evidence of planes, other than the shitty video they showed us where we've already found glitches and fucking CGI mistakes that pretty much give up the whole game. I mean, there's one that's just like so bad. I don't even know why it made it out on for the public to see. The one where the plane is flying in the background, you see it coming, and there's these cranes in the foreground, and you can see the plane flying in the background, and it flies, there's cranes in the foreground with their crane lines hanging down. You can see the plane flying in the background behind the cranes in the foreground, and then it passes another crane in the foreground. However, it goes in front of the crane in the foreground, which is impossible, obviously. It's a CGI mistake, and it's really bad. It's terrible. It gives up the whole thing as being total fake. Or gives up that particular video as being fake, and that's one of the videos that, I mean, why in the fuck? how do they, how do they not catch that? You know, and it's just like accidents on purpose or something, but at any rate, like, the plane flying into the building, if you slow it down, you see that it's halfway into the building before you see any kind of damage occurring or any explosion happening. It's already halfway into the building before you see anything happening. That's not what would happen in real life. The second that plane hit that fucking building, the plane's going however fast, if it's even possible to fly a plane that size through that low of an elevation in a city, to make that, I mean, whatever, that alone is a whole different story. But like if that plane were to hit that building the way it looked, going that fast, a building that's stationary, that's made of steel and glass, the plane's coming at this speed, it's made of aluminum, and it's coming, and it hits the steel building that's standing still. What would happen is the glass would break, the building would give a little bit, but the plane would crumble and fall apart and blow up, I mean, it might look like it was going into the building, it might kind of go into the building, but it probably would go into the building a little bit, but it would crumble in the process. It wouldn't just, turn into a ball of fire halfway into the building. Like, I don't know, that's not, I've never seen it happen in real life, what it would look like in real life, but I can imagine that you would see some damage on the plane before it got halfway into the building, because the plane is made of weaker materials. You can hit a bird on a plane and it causes some fucking serious damage. Like, like major dents, It's like fucking, the plane's not made of like impenetrable, like, steel. The building was. I mean, it's not impenetrable, but I mean, the building, can withstand that crash. I mean, it'll be damaged, don't get me wrong, but I mean, the plane's going to be the thing that suffers, the most, not the building. However, the building crumbled to dust, due to that crash, but that's a different story. Also, what I'm saying is when the plane hit the building, if you slow the video down, you can see the plane's about halfway into the building before there's any sign of any damage occurring. That's not reality right there. That's fake. That wouldn't happen in real life. No. I mean, the plane would probably scrunch and crush and fall apart in half. It might make it halfway. It might look like it's making it halfway into the building, but it's just because the front of the plane's being smashed. But you would see that. It's not real. It's fake. So there was no planes on 9/11, which is why they couldn't find any evidence of planes on 9/11, except for the inflated landing gear tire that was sitting in the middle of the road, Yeah. And the fucking, the passport and the fuselage from a different older plane that they found at the Pentagon or whatever. I mean, that shit's been debunked a good 20 years now. And for me to be getting censored for mentioning that at this point in time on my little channel, I call that just outright lame and retarded. And if they don't hear my appeal and give my fucking shit back, I mean, they're fucked, dude. You know what I'm gonna do? Nothing. Nothing I can do. I'll just keep saying the truth and probably end up losing my channel eventually again. But I can't be silenced. I'm not gonna succumb to self-censorship like that. I'm not gonna do that, because that's what we call mind control. When you begin to self-censor, you've succumbed to the mind control. You're playing along. You're taking part in the mind control. You're willingly bending to the powers that be, or shouldn't be, or whatever. You're adjusting, you're modifying your behavior because you're afraid of losing your YouTube channel and being censored. That would be the bottom line. You don't want to lose your channel, so there's some sort of selfish reason that you're modifying your behavior and restraining yourself from speaking truth that you know in your heart to be true, factual, and instead of doing that, you're going to just not say it because you don't want to lose your YouTube channel. Therefore, you've modified your behavior. You've been effectively mind controlled into submission. And now you will behave and they'll be happy and you will be a fucking phony dumbass. I'm not going to be a phony dumbass. I'm not going to succumb to that shit. That's why I still say the truth on my channel, even though I've lost so many channels. It's not about popularity for me or building a channel. It's just about not being a fucking idiot. And just, acknowledging the truth when I see it and letting it be known that I see it, People fucking want to listen, whatever. If people censor me or, I don't know, at least I didn't fucking, become a weak person and just like, at least I have principles, integrity, and the things that, we claim to be like proud of here in this fucking upside down country. Freedom and all that kind of stuff. Freedom of speech, that kind of thing we used to embrace as a country, until the two-party system came along and fucking, pretended to be like two parties opposing each other when in reality they're both marching in unison towards a fucking dystopian nightmare. And we can all see it happening, yet people still play team sport politics and go vote for red or blue thinking it's going to solve the problem when it's obviously only making it worse. And it never really amounts to jack shit. There's never the trajectory of our government never changes. It keeps going completely the opposite direction of humanity. Humanity never gets a win. Whenever they seem like they're gonna do that, it's like it's always some fucking skewed bullshit. Oh, we're gonna take care of business and fix all the problems that Biden created, and then we're gonna like fucking come and like start like profiling people and, badgering the citizens and asking them if they have fucking green cards and fucking, we're gonna go like start blowing up boats out in the fucking ocean that we think have drugs on them because people that have drugs deserve to die. And we're gonna just, encourage fucking people to be racist and fucking, basically just ignore all the atrocities that have occurred. We're gonna totally ignore the fact that like the last presidency, like mandated people to take an experimental shot. People lost their jobs and people lost their lives when they took this shot because it was fucking not good for people to do. And we totally disregard all that and just shrug that off and act like that was like a good thing somehow. I mean, what? And just like the cognitive dissonance is just fucking going off, dude. And like, we're gonna continue to support Israel and fucking, I mean, what? We're going to censor people because of the things they're saying online. I mean, this administration is worse than the last one. I mean, the last one was an embarrassment, but this one is just like, this guy's supposed to be cognitive, I mean, and he's doing worse things. The last guy, at least you could use the excuse for being like, it's not even him making the decisions, because he couldn't even like put out a sentence. Like he couldn't even like speak, couldn't walk. The guy'd fall over at the podium and fall on his face. He was the biggest embarrassment of a president that ever was. Now Trump comes along. I mean, it's not hard to like come in and like do a better job than Biden did. But no, Trump comes in and he's just like a fucking tyrant. He's a lame duck named Donald, and like he doesn't give a fuck apparently because he's not doing any of the things he said he was going to do, and he's doing the opposite, and he's being a complete tyrant. And like anybody that wants to defend the actions of the Trump administration has their head up their ass. I mean, the best move now would be to admit that you were fooled and like fucking just move on, dude. And like don't be fooled again, Meet the new boss, same as the old boss, dude. It's the fucking same fucking ball of wax, dude. It's not gonna change by voting red or blue. That shit's a big fucking hoax. It's a big trick. It's a scam. And it's been perpetrated on the American people for as long as we can remember. And like, it's never gotten us anywhere good. Anytime we have like what seems to be a good situation, it gets yanked out from under us. I mean, the country loved John F. Kennedy. The entire country did. you got murdered. Anytime there's a public assassination like that, the the investigation of it is fucking wonky, and none of it makes sense, and none of it checks out, and the American people are let down because they can see that there was something wrong with the investigation. Every time there's a public assassination, there hasn't been a single one that's happened where it seemed like, the story made sense and the guy they got fucking was punished and he just got what he deserved and the whole thing checked out. There's never been a case of that happening. The norm is for the story to not make any sense, for them to punish somebody that doesn't even seem like they were the guy that did it, and fucking none of the details check out. I mean, they got bad writing, is what it looks like. That's what it looks like. I mean, whatever. That's my argument. If I had to make a statement, I'd be like, anytime there's a public assassination, we never get a good. It's never good writing. It's always really difficult to believe, like what the storyline that we've been spoon fed is. It's like, what? The magic bullet, the fucking, the obvious like connections to CIA. I mean, you can't. And Israel. I mean, ever since Israel's been part of the picture, it's been like. I mean, they'll admit to assassinating people all over the world. I mean, you see the list of assassinations Israel's committed. It's like it's in alphabetical order. I mean, that's what they do. You think they're going to admit doing it like when it was like, something that happened with an American, where, no, dude, we're like their little fucking, you know, we're their little dog they kick, we're not, they're supposed to be our pet, but it's the other way around. Who's zooming who? I think it kind of looks good for the big American boss to seem like they're Israel's bitch, because like that way we don't look like we're taking over the Middle East. That way it looks like Israel's just this rogue nation that's just controlling everybody, and America's like, oh, here, take our money, take our weapons, here, just don't hurt us. That way America looks like just another little bitch that Israel's picking on, but instead of us looking like we installed a country over there just to like start taking over the Middle East and for capital gain and for whatever other reasons, and like, because if it looked like that, that would be a lot worse. So it's a good thing we look like Israel's little bitch versus the other way around, because that would be a really bad look. Oh yeah, we're just gonna like, forge this country over here where it wasn't invited, wasn't welcomed, wasn't, logistically real, it wasn't like legal, and we're just gonna begin, supporting this country over here and going to war with all the other countries that were there and just blowing everybody up and killing people and just taking things that aren't ours. That's what America's gonna endorse. Oh no, this is just Israel doing this all on its own, and now it's got America under its thumb, and we're just like we're just another country that Israel's taking advantage of. It's not the other way around. I mean, it looks good like that, so let's just go with that. Fuck that. The governments of the world, they're all fucked up, dude. I mean, there's probably a couple good ones out there, but if they're part of the UN, nah, they're fucked up. They're complicit. They're fucked off. I mean, there's no way you can just play the, like ignorant or whatever. You can't pretend you're just naive or something. If you're part of the UN and you're like signed up for their, agendas, you're corrupt. You're complicit, if anything. And so all the countries that are part of the UN, which is pretty much all of them, like 190, 180 or something, they're all complicit in the fucking, crimes against humanity and should be called out as such. And none of the citizens of any of these nations, they have such a small support group, really, when it comes down to it. Like, there's not that many people that really want what they're bringing, I mean, it's such a small percentage of the population that actually give a fuck about what they're talking about and would actually support their causes, and those people are brainwashed or have some investment in it, or, they've been incentivized to, like, have that opinion. It's not like any of the shit that they're doing is, like, worthy goals to shoot for that anybody should ever want. Maybe the people that are in power might want it, but it's like that's a slim margin of the society. I mean, I wouldn't even consider them members of the society, really. They're just guys with little fucking puppet strings, And yeah, granted, they're going to want to control as much of it as possible. That's what the UN's whole agenda is, sustainable development. I mean, they're basically going to get in and fucking try to, like, economize every little fucking interaction and just, like, get all up in your business and fucking just control every aspect of your life with AI. Meddle in your fucking behavior to the point where they've got you all like hypnotized into behaving a certain way and like fucking bioengineered and all this fucking garbage. Dude, none of it's good. None of it's something anybody should want. It's all spelled out for everyone to read. If they would take the time to go read the sustainable, I mean, it's like take you a long time. I've read a lot of it, but I mean, I've barely scratched the surface, and what I've read is disturbing. Like, and I don't get shaken up easily, you know, but that shit's disturbing, dude. It's not pretty. I mean, I wish everybody could go read at least just a small portion of it, because I mean, any part of it, if you dip into it and start reading, getting into the nitty gritty details of UN Sustainable Development Goals, it's all bad, dude. It's all bad, and it's all like moving the opposite direction as humanity. It's like, you know, it's terrible. It's frightening, really. I mean, if you really think about the reality that's going to be imposed on us, this agenda that's unfolding as we speak, and they're dirty, they're corrupt, man. These smart cities, you know, they want to go like they want to have to like redevelop certain areas that are like a certain way. They want to put a smart city in. Well, what they do instead of like having to purchase all the property legally and get everybody out of the way so they can tear everything down and rebuild it, and it takes a long time doing that. Some people don't want to leave, and it's a real fucking monkey wrench in the whole plan. So instead of having to deal with all that and all the money it costs and all the time it takes, they'll just go fucking burn the whole place down in 15 minutes, take a bulldozer and plow it all out of the way. They hope as many people die as possible. That way they don't have to deal with them buying their property and stuff, and they're really trying to buy them out. But once that's all burned down and flattened, it's a lot easier to buy the property for cheap or next to nothing. So they just bulldoze all the ash out of the way and then start building. It's a lot faster for their whole, you know, smart city plan. So they get right down to it, you know, instead of having to deal with all the time and money that it costs to go about it legitimately. They just go burn it down 15 minutes. It took 15 minutes for the town to burn down. 15 minutes to clear the fuck out, and then 15 minutes to put up a fence around it. And now the feds and the FBI, they all along for the ride. Got to make sure that no one gets inside. Yeah, 15 minutes, boy, it ain't pretty. Getting right down to the nitty gritty. Got to make way, making a way for a 15-minute city. It took 15 minutes. Josh Green, Josh Green, Josh Green, come clean. Josh Green, Josh Green, you can't go green until you come clean. Josh Green, Josh Green. And nice try, wise guy. Nice try, a wise guy. This happened because of climate change. This happened because of climate change. It's a strange thing to say the very next day. Now, he didn't even investigate, just came right out with it like that. Said, this here happened because of climate change. This is your own fault, he would say. It's just because you choose to live this way. After I've been warning you for so long about the climate change that was a cause of your demise. Yeah, nice try, wise guy, nice try. And Josh Green, you dirty little man, you lie. And we can see what is happening. It took 15 minutes, and boy, it ain't pretty. Getting down, right down to the nitty gritty. They're making way for a 15-minute city. A city. 15 minutes. 15 minutes. took 15 minutes for the town to burn down. 15 minutes on. Alright, I'm getting all wet. Late.